students. Today we are going to discuss a new chapter, that is water in atmosphere. This is chapter number 11 from the unit of climate only. Already in the previous chapter we have seen that, or we read that the atmosphere, it is composed of three things. One is the dust particles, another one is the different kind of the gases, and the third one is the water vapor. So water vapor is the most important part of our atmosphere only. The water is present in the atmosphere in three forms. One is the gaseous, another one is the liquid, and another one is the solid. So there are three states, or there are three ways, or the forms are present in the atmosphere, that is the gaseous, liquid, and the solid. The moisture in the atmosphere, that is derived from the water bodies actually, and this process is done through the process of the evaporation, and from the plants through the process of transpiration. Now, there are some few terms that is related with this chapter, or related with this topic only. Those terms are: the first one, that is the condensation and the precipitation. There is a continuous exchange of the water between the atmosphere and the oceans and the water bodies of the continent. We know about the water cycle in the previous classes. So, by the process of the evaporation, transpiration, then condensation and precipitation, this thing is done. Water vapor that is present in our air, that is known as humidity. It is expressed quantitatively in different ways only. What is humidity? The water vapor that is present in our air, that is called the humidity. The amount of the humidity can be different in different areas. This is actually depend on the temperature of the air, obviously. The actual amount of the water vapor that is present in the atmosphere, it is known as absolute humidity. The actual amount of the water vapor that is present in the atmosphere, it is known as absolute humidity. And the weight of the water vapor per unit volume air, it is expressed in the terms of grams per unit meter. So in this page we get to know about some terms like the humidity, that is the water vapor present in the air, it is known as humidity. Second one is absolute humidity, and third one is the unit, that is the gram per cubic meter, it is the unit to measure the volume of the air. Now after this one we are having the next thing, that is called the, there are two types of the humidity. One is the relative humidity, another one is the absolute humidity. The actual amount of the water vapor present in the air is known as absolute humidity. We already know that. The ability of the air to hold the water vapor depends entirely on its temperature. If temperature changes, the holding capacity of the water vapor also changes. The percentage of the moisture present in the atmosphere as compared to its full capacity on a given temperature is known as relative humidity. This relative humidity is a very important part. What is relative humidity? The percentage of the moisture present in the atmosphere as compared to its full capacity at a given temperature is known as relative humidity. If the air contains moisture to its full capacity at a given temperature, it is said to be saturated air. Saturated air means when the air containing moisture to its full capacity at a given temperature, it is called the saturated air. It means that the air at the time given temperature is incapable of holding any additional amount of the moisture at that stage. That means the air can't hold more amount of the moisture in this stage. The temperature at which this saturation occurred in a given point of the air, it is known as dew point. So the next question is, what is dew point? So dew point is the temperature at which the saturation occurred in a given amount of the air. It is called dew point. What is saturated air? The air contains moisture to its full capacity at a given temperature. It's called saturated air. And the next one, that is the relative humidity. Now we are going to read about the evaporation and condensation. Now, evaporation and condensation is the process by which the water is transformed from the liquid to solid state, and opposite. Now, evaporation is a process by which the water is transformed from the liquid to the gaseous state only, and heat is the main reason behind this evaporation. The temperature at which the water starts evaporating, that is called the heat of the evaporation. The temperature at which the water start evaporating, that is called the heat of the evaporation. And what is evaporation? The process by which the water is transformed from liquid to the gaseous state, it is called the evaporation. After evaporation, we are having the next topic, that is the condensation. What is condensation? The transform of the heat, the transformation of the water vapor into the water, it is called the condensation. Condensation is actually the opposite process of the evaporation. The condensation is caused by the different reasons. Basic reason is there: if there is the loss of the heat. When the moist air is cooled, it may reach to the level when the capacity of the water holding water vapor, it totally stops, and in that time only the condensation starts actually. There are different like factors when the condensation took place. It take place when the moist air comes in the contact with some colder object also. Condensation, it's depend on the amount of the like dew point or the amount of the relative humidity of the air. Condensation is influenced by the volume of the air, even the temperature as well as the pressure of the air also. Now condensation take place, there are some conditions are there when both volume and the temperature reduced, when temperature of the air is reduced to the dew point, and when moisture is added through the evaporation. So these all are the favorable condition for condensation. So for today, this much only. Learn these basic terms. Next day, we will discuss about the new topic, that is the clouds and the precipitation. Thank you.